Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the HennyPennyMakes podcast. I'm Erin, otherwise known as Henny Penny, and I am a yarn dyer, colour therapist and all-round crafter based in Scotland. I haven't podcast for ages. I did do Vlogmas, which was really lovely, and it got me back into doing it, so I want to try and this year be a bit more consistent with my podcasting. Because I love doing it and I love sharing things, but I have always put too much pressure on myself to make sure it's perfect and everything's done and at least presentable when I show things. So this year I'm going to just try and be honest and show up and at least show you what I'm doing. It might not be great, I might not have woven in the ends and all those kind of things, but it'll be me. So so this episode I thought, since it's been ages, I would do a roundup of everything that I've done finished since the last episode, everything I've been working on, and then I'm going to record another episode after this which will show you all of my whips, and that will hopefully give me something for next week to share, and then I will have a chance of getting some more stuff to show you then after that. Otherwise I'll put too much pressure on myself again, and that's my aim this year. I haven't made any resolutions as such, but I want to I just want to try and find some happiness each day and not stress about things, because the last few years have been incredibly stressful, shall we say. So and I know lots of people have been saying, oh, I would love to see more episodes of the podcast and more things that I've been making, so I will try my best to be here more. Right, I have quite a few things to show you. I will try my best to remember the patterns if I've used a pattern and the designers and things. If I don't, I will pop it on the screen. So the first thing I will show you, I was working on in the last episode, and it's the Flax Light sweater by Tin Can Knits, and I used I think it was my 2021 advent calendar to make this. I had done it around the Radio Times theme, so it's all connected with programmes and memories, kind of to do with television at Christmas time. Now, whenever I see this on screen, I'm like, oh, I don't think I like it. But when I see it in reality, it's much nicer. So it's actually a lot more colourful than it looks. It's just that from a distance, you can't always see it so well. Yeah, I tried my best to blend them as well as I could through the colourways. Because I didn't, sometimes when I've got a theme, I don't aim for a fade. Other times I do. But this one was more based on the individual inspirations rather than specifically to blend together. But I think it goes okay. It's not bad, really. It's a nice one to wear. I still have to block it properly because the sleeves are a bit wibbly wobbly just now. But I didn't want to do that and then not show it to you, because I would have ended up doing it last night and then it wouldn't have been dry because it's been snowing here, it's cold. So it definitely wouldn't have dried overnight to show you. And then I did put the podcast off for another day, and then, you know, life happens. So anyway, it's a lovely pattern, really easy. I like the panels down the sleeves. Although I nearly forgot to carry on with that when I had finished the body, the plain knitting, and came back to it. So yeah, I think in future if I'm making it, I might do the to where the divide is, and then do the sleeves and then knit the body, just so that because I had to rip back a bit. And when I sit down at night to knit, it's not really the time that I'm concentrating very well, so it's better, I think, to probably in future for me to do it that way. But I would definitely make another one. I love the Flax Light, and Tin Can Knit patterns are great. They're always so well laid out, so simple and straightforward, and I love them. And they're great for kind of putting your own mark on, like doing this with an advent calendar or something. It's nice to adapt them. Right, the next one is, started off as a so faded sweater, but I miscalculated. That was ages ago. Miscalculated how many rows to do. so it turned into a dress. But I love it, and I think it'll be really nice to wear. I used my chakra colourways, my original chakra colourways, not from the chakra club that I did a couple of years ago, but the original set of 7 that I did. So it's made a lovely dress, and I think it actually lets the colours shine properly, whereas I think in a jumper it would have been too short section to show them off properly. So yeah, it'll be lovely when it's on. The So Faded I've done before as a jumper, and it was really nice to wear as well. It's one of my favourites. Just fits really, really well, and it's lovely again for playing with colour. So maybe another episode I'll wear this and show you it on. I'm wondering about taking these colours back as a option on the website. I haven't dyed them up for a while as standalone colourways, but yeah, I was wondering about it. It's always hard to know what to put on the website. That fortunately in the past when I've dyed up, I had lots of options for dye to order or have dyed up quantities, then they don't always sell. And yet when they have finally sold, someone asks me for those colourways and I'm like, well, it's just the way life is, I suppose. But it's always difficult to know what to have available and what's going to be popular and what's not, because often the ones that surprise you are the ones that end up being super popular, and it's not what I would necessarily have expected. So anyway, it's going to be a rambly one, I'm sorry about that. Right, the next one in my box is the Tender Hat, which is by Melody Hoffman, I think that's right. This is a lovely one. So I used, the pattern is DK and like fluff yarn, so I used DK minis actually for mine. I picked 3 minis that blended well together, and the suri, and it's so cozy, honestly, I love it. And it fits really well. I think it would fit pretty much anyone. I've got my hair tied up and it is so cozy. I wore it this morning on the school run. It was so warm. It was the only bit of me that wasn't cold was my head. Yeah, so it's a lovely pattern, so quick and easy to make as well. I want to make some more for presents. And I topped it with one of my pom-poms that I have in the shop. These are super soft and cozy. Everybody at the yarn fairs goes like this, or touches them and says how soft it is. Yeah, so it's a lovely pattern, really nice and super cozy. I kind of want one in every colour now. Can you tell I have a bit of an obsession with having a rainbow of things? Right, before I take out the next bit, I'm going to show you these. I ages and ages ago made these socks, but I didn't put the heels in. I love making scrappy socks or like stripy socks and doing it as a tube because it means I can work on it easily. Especially when my daughter was younger, it was easy to work on sort of small circular needles because it wasn't difficult if she needed my attention or came running over to me. But I'm terrible for putting in afterthought heels. And they're so simple, that's the stupid thing. It's just getting my head in the right place for doing it and actually being in the mood. But anyway, so I picked out, the yarn is Kate Celine. I don't know if I said that already. I'm honestly well out of practice with podcasting. But it was lots of scraps that I had, so I just kind of blended them together as best I could. So yeah, I like these ones a lot. The other ones are much more colourful and sometimes they're a bit bright, but I think they'll be nice and cheerful in my sock drawer. Yeah, these are the other ones. I will show you. Again, they're Kate Celine yarn. When I first started getting hand dyed yarn, she was my obsession because her colours are just so bright and cheerful. So I picked out again colours that I thought went reasonably well together. These are nice long cuffs, so they'll be super cozy to wear. So that's good. Finally got some socks out of my box of socks or tin of socks that needed heels, and will be able to wear them at long last. I've had them sitting for a good while to show you, so it was a relief to get them done. Now, the next thing, so last year one of my clubs was a minis club, and it was with the idea of making the socks that I shared in previous episodes. So I made some new ones to go along with the ones I already had. I still have some yarn set aside, 2 sets on the needle, like a greyish blue colour and violet. Those are the 2 sets that are on the needles just now. And then I've got brown and grey, I think, left to do. I might have another set aside somewhere. Can't remember. I need to look it out. But I've done loads of rainbow socks. My daughter saw them and she's like, oh, I want them all, Mum. So I thought I would hold them up and show you. So if you've watched the previous episodes, you will have seen several of them, but there are some new additions and I love them so much. Trouble is, I want to keep them as a sample for a good while first before I start wearing them, but they are so pretty. So I know these ones are definitely new because I only finished them the other day. These were my May ones from the club last year, but yeah, they only got finished a couple of days ago because it's the way it is. I'm trying to think what else I might have finished. Those ones I think might be new. They're one of my favourites because they've got the Leo colourway. I think I did those ones on the... Can't remember. I think they were new as well. Really bright ones, but they're lovely. Very much like a daffodil vibe, which I love. What else did I do? I'm sure I showed them before. Oops. And I'm sure I showed them too. Those ones I think are new as well, the indigo kind of ones. And I can't remember if I showed the purple. I'm sure I did. It's really hard. I'd have to sit and look back at the previous episode to be sure. So yeah, as I said, I've got brown and grey ones definitely to add to this. And violet pair and the grey blue ones. I think that's all I had set aside. I want to make another, like a paler pink set. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Can you see any colour gaps in there that I've missed apart from the violet ones? It's always interesting to see what people suggest. Yeah, I think that's them all. I think that's probably the best range of colours I can have. Eventually I'd like to, at a yarn festival, have them all available in all the colourways that you could buy to do them. It's just so much fun to make. But I did, because of the club and trying to keep up with them each month, adding new ones and things, I got a bit fed up last year, I must be honest, so that's why there's still some on the needles. But that's okay, because I'll come back to them and enjoy making them when I finally do that. Right, the next thing I made was this cowl, really simple cowl, crochet one, but I am going to write up the pattern for it. I'll try and put it on. It's lovely and cosy without being too tight. Nice. It's a double knitting weight, and yeah, I used my chakra, one of my chakra sets to do it. Yeah, so I'm going to write up the pattern for that. I have some of these minis in the, well, will be going into the shop. I'm having a shop update on Friday. I'm aiming for a shop update. It's long overdue because I didn't put anything back in the shop after Yorkshire in November because I just wanted a break over Christmas. So all I had was the club yarns, and it was really nice actually not to have to worry about anything like that, because sometimes, even if I have said I'm shutting over Christmas, sometimes when people order you still feel like, oh, that's another order I'll have to think about, and I don't know. It was really nice not to have anything to worry about, but I do need to get yarn back in the shop now. I have a, yeah, I should be putting this in a set order, but it's the way it is. I have a yarn festival in March, which is East Anglia Yarn Festival. I did it last year, which was lovely, really enjoyed it, and we'll be back again this March. So this stuff going into the shop won't be there for a huge amount of time, but it would be nice to have something for a wee while, because I know not everyone's able to go to festivals, or sometimes it's nice to see what someone has available before you go to a festival. So I'm hoping to get this pattern written up in time for the festival and have sets available. I always like to make ambitious plans because pattern writing, it's not difficult when I know what I'm doing, but at the same time I always have a doubt and want to double check and triple check things just to be sure that it's all right before I release it. So yeah, I'm probably putting pressure on myself doing that, but anyway, I did take this to Glasgow School of Yarn and Yorkshire, and it got lots of compliments when I was there, so I think it will be nice to have the sets available. I just haven't gotten the pattern written yet, but that's a job on the to-do list. Right, while I'm remembering, I have gnomes to show you. So the last podcast episode, I think I was working on this one, which is Gnathan. So all of the gnome patterns are by Sarah of Imagine Landscapes. I've already got 2 gnomes, which I've left sitting over there, which are Nelly and Nemo. One is a colour work, one is just a normal gnome with like a fancy hat. So I started this one. You'll see them if you look back at previous episodes. So I started this one, I think the last episode I recorded. So my daughter loves playing with them. So there's Gnathan. I can't remember the actual pattern names, but I will pop them all in the box down below. Then I did Gnocchi, this is my yarn for that make along. It was food themed, or food and drink themed, so I went with Scottish things. So this was my Iron Brew one. I loved this one. He's so cute with his colourwork hat. I want to make another one like this actually, that I could have sitting out at Christmas. Then I made, this one, which was not the make along that's just finished for the festive period, but the one from the year before. So this is Gnova, Gnova, I'm sure her name is. So she actually has 3 hats and a scarf as well, so you can change them, but this is my favourite hat on her, although there is another really cute one, but I think this one suits her best. So she's just a dinky little thing in comparison with the others, but she's very cute. They're much bigger, but so with the leftovers from that one, I made Gnola, who is she's one of the Grimblewood ones, I think, one of the Grimblewood collection. So yeah, my daughter likes to put her little hands in her pockets. It's very cute. But so that's 4 gnomes that I've done since the last episode, so that was good. It was a while ago though, so it sounds a lot, but it's not really in the great scheme of things. So my collection of gnomes is now at 6. I think I looked it up to see what a collection of gnomes was called, and it's a donzi. I think that's the right word. So my donzi is at 6. They're so much fun to make. They really are. And the patterns are really well written, and Sarah always has like video tutorials and lots of information. So although it can be intimidating if you haven't tried something before, sometimes it can seem that way, especially when you're working on something small. It can be a bit fiddly, but at the same time, because it's small and they're gnomes, they're kind of individual if they end up a little bit unusual. If there's a little quirk or something in the way you've knitted it doesn't matter because they look gorgeous. So I have several gnomes that I want to make. Trying to think of them. I'll share them in the next episode probably. But yeah, her patterns are always lovely, so I can definitely recommend them. Right, what else have I finished? This is the Flip Side Tee by Tanis Lavallee. Now I used one of my mini bundles to make this. The only thing is the back bit kind of flips down, which is a little bit annoying, but it's a lovely t-shirt. I love it. I want to make more garments this year coming. It's super fun to work with minis. It worked up so quickly because you just want to get on to the next one. And because the sleeves are pretty much, there's only like 4 or 6 rows of ribbing or something on the sleeves, and that's it, you cast off them. It's so quick to work on. It was lovely not having to knit sleeves. So I'm thinking that this year I might make some more garments like this, tees especially. So this was my yarn, the one of my, was it my Earthy Rainbow? I think it's my Earthy Rainbow set on my bronze base. I picked it because I had one sitting and I just thought it would be lovely. The only thing is, I think it was one of these two colours. Yeah, the yarn was ever so slightly tight because the yardage is smaller on the bronze base than on the normal sock base. So it did make a slight difference. I was lucky I just managed to do it and no more, but I wouldn't recommend it if you were close to the yardage. I would recommend getting extra yarn if you were going to make it, just in case. It'd probably be fine on a standard sock base, but it's a lovely pattern, really lovely. So I can see another one of those in my future. Then I think we're on to shawls next. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got a cowl here as well that I made. I'll show you that first and then I'll show you the shawls. So this is my slub cowl. So I do have the pattern for it. Oh, there's another 2 cowls that I've forgotten about. I knew that would happen. I'll maybe pop them in at the end when I won't interrupt it just now. So yeah, this is my slub cowl. I love the slubby base, and this is All Is Bright, I think this colour is. It was a Christmas one from a few years ago. So pretty. The slub takes the dye beautifully. Yeah, so I wanted to see how it knitted up. So I just made a really simple cowl, and I do have the pattern. It's on Ravelry and Payhip, as are all of my other patterns apart from my free Scrappy Advent cowl, which is on the website. But yeah, it's just a lovely cowl. It's nice and light, but it also folds up quite well under a jacket if it's a bit colder. I had it on the other day because it was blooming cold. It was nice just to tuck around me. It's just a lovely simple cowl. So yeah, it was fun to work with a different base as well, because I do make a lot with just normal sock yarn and things, and it's nice just to have a change. Forgot I've got another pair of socks here. 2 pairs of socks. Oh, I tucked them away. This is the Yarn Badgers Christmas, one of her Christmas Advent colours from a couple of years ago. I think this is the Christmas Carousel one. So I finally got the heels in it and finished it, which is lovely. So again, I'll have another pair to pop in my drawer. It'll be lovely to have all these new socks. I'll be trying to decide which one to put on in the morning. That's going to take me ages then. I'll be struggling to decide. And then this is Helen from Giddy Yarns. Her Halloween colourway, I cannot remember. Is it Trick or Treat? I think that's what's called. Caught on my sock blocker. I think it's Trick or Treat. It's a lovely one. And so I paired this one with a mini from Yarn Unique that came in a club box. I love that as well. It's so pretty. It's the first Halloween socks I've made myself. I've got lots of yarns that I could probably make some Halloween socks with, but I haven't so far, so I think I need to do more. Oh yeah, I made these as well. So last year at one point I had lots and lots of DK minis, and I decided it would be nice to do some sort of surprise bags, like bags of colour with the DK, and I had some sock ones as well, just to make a bit of space. It was lovely to be able to do that. So I decided to make some socks just with one of the bags, just to see what I could do. But when I did it, when I went to turn it inside out to do the ends, I was like, I really like the inside. So it's going to sound strange, but I'm going to wear them like this, inside out, and see how, just for a change, to see how they wear. I just think the colours look, it's maybe a bit difficult if there's a step there, but maybe it looks better on that side. But I just love the different texture. I know some people sometimes they'll do, is it a princess sole, where they work it this way with the purl side out, because their feet are maybe more sensitive to textures. I don't have that problem at all, but I just fancied wearing them a little bit differently. So that's what I've done with those. And because they're DK, it'll be nice to have thicker socks as well and see how they wear. Now, I probably jinxing myself saying this, but I have never worn through socks. I've always been really lucky that my socks wear really well. So it'll be interesting to see if these ones do or not, because just out of interest to compare them. But they're nice. It's nice to have DK ones. They feel, and they work up so quickly as well. I want to make more DK socks for my drawer. Right, I feel like all I've done is talk about socks. I've got a few shawls here to show you, and then I think that's it for today. So this one is one of the ones that I made as a sample for shows last year. Actually, they're all samples. So there you go. So this is the Rainbow Wings shawl by Knitting Expat, Tamina Phillips, and it's gorgeous, absolutely lovely. I loved the shaping of it because it's just totally different. It's really nice to put on. Excuse me. There we go. Kind of sitting right now. Yeah, it's just gorgeous and it's so much fun to make. Yeah, I love it. And it's a nice light shawl as well. It's not heavy, but it's warm. It feels lovely. So I used my bronze, undyed bronze base, which is gorgeous. It's got like a lovely grey tone and a little bit, just a hint of sparkle. And then I used the minis, just rainbow of minis to do the colours. So it's a lovely one because occasionally you have a long row when you're working like the whole thing. It does get quite long near the end, but most of it you're working in wedges, so it doesn't feel like it's a chore, especially because you're changing colour as well. So it's a really nice one to make. I'd definitely recommend it. It blocks out beautifully too. If I had more time I would make a second one because I do love it. But at the moment there's so many other things that I've got on my list that I really want to make. And sometimes when you really love something, it's difficult to imagine the second one being as good, if you know what I mean. So that's that one. Yeah, a lovely pattern, really love it. Then I have, remembered a third cowl. Oh heck, I did show it on Vlogmas, also by the same designer as this. Cowl. I was one of the test knitters for Therese of Brixton Pearl. She released a cowl the end of December, and it's like 2 cowls in one, so you can actually put it together and you get 3 options. So I knitted the one just made with fluff. It was super cozy, really nice to wear, and it's nice under my jacket that I've got at the moment because it zips right up, but it's soft and squishy enough it can hide in there and keep me cozy, which is lovely. So I will try and remember and show you that at the end as well. Honestly, I thought I was organised. So also by Therese of Brixton Pearl is this shawl, which is the Quill shawl. It uses a sock set, so 120 grams of yarn. So 100 grams for this and the 20 grams for the border. And it's got a lovely texture. It's really beautiful. It blocks out lovely. And then a lovely lacy edging as well, which is great. It's really pretty. It's a lovely lightweight one, but it makes a nice size. I'll try and... And it's great having an option for a sock set that isn't socks, because I love making socks, but at the same time even I get fed up of making them sometimes. And it's nice if you're not a sock fan to just have another option for sock sets. So yeah, it's lovely. It's a really nice one. I think Therese has plans to maybe release another option for a sock set. Yeah, although I know, having seen her social media, she's got other things going on for the next wee while. So, but if she does release something in the future, I will try and remember and show you. Right, the last ones are both by Lisa of Paper Daisy Creations, Lisa Ross. Now, if you know me, you know that she's one of my favourite designers. I absolutely love her patterns. Her Make Your Own Luck shawl is one of my most popular samples at yarn fairs, and it's just, yeah, her patterns are lovely, really lovely. So this one is the Positive Thinking shawl. Now I haven't blocked it because I quite like the size of it as it is, but it's got lots of stretch in it, so it could easily block out a lot bigger. But it's just gorgeous. It's got a lovely mosaic design. And then a lovely stripy section, which is great, and a nice rainbow border as well. It was great fun to make, and again it makes a nice sized shawl. This one used, yeah, I was just checking, I had told you about what I used for the other ones. This one uses 100 grams of the main colour, which I chose the undyed yarn, and then 10-20 gram minis to make the shawl. So if you like big shawls, you could easily block it out to a bigger size. It's just curling slightly, there we go. Oh man, why is it when you try to make a shawl look good they decide to move? Anyway, yeah, it's lovely, just a nice size, lovely and squashy because of the texture and the mosaic, but it's really nice. So yeah, I like it just as it is, which is why I've left it as it is. I would like to block it actually, just to see how much drapier it is and how much bigger it would get. And then part of me is tempted just to make another one because it was good fun. So simple, because it just looks really effective, but it's so easy to do. It's lovely. So as always, I would recommend Lisa's patterns. They're really good. And the final one of hers that I've made is the Mountain Musings. Yeah. So I was one of her dyers for her mystery knit along 2 years ago, the Mountain Musings one, and this last year's one, which is Secret Forest. I haven't done it yet. I do want to. But the good thing about her make-alongs are you can use the same sets for any of the previous patterns. Exactly the same amount of yarn. So if you don't like the pattern that she releases that year, you can make one of the previous ones, which is great. So she's done Garden Variety, Just Beachy, the Mountain Musings, and the Secret Forest. It looks gorgeous as well. They all do. They're all lovely. So I haven't blocked this, so it's definitely needing blocked, so it evens out a little bit, but it's really pretty. It's a lovely wrap. Let's see, hold it out properly. It's really gorgeous. I chose my Coolins sort of set of colours because I spent some time working and living in Skye and I loved it. So it's special to me. But yeah, it's gorgeous. So Lisa's patterns are always really good because they've always got so much interest and texture, but you're never doing like a long section of something. It always feels like it's manageable. This one was, at one point I was a little bit concerned because when I was in the middle of doing it, it just didn't look like anything, and I'm like, God, I hope I've done it right, but I had. This one was a fun section, but also felt quite long, I must be honest, and that one, but really pretty when they're done. They're really lovely. But yes, again, really good pattern. Lots of video tutorials, and yeah, it's just lovely. The only thing that I didn't like about it was the amount of ends to weave in. And that's my own fault because I left them all to the end. It wasn't anyone else's issue, but yeah, that was the only thing that I struggled with, was the ends, because there were loads. But it's lovely. It'll look really nice when I'm wearing it. I think I know it's a wrap, but I think I would wear it as more like a scarf. Even though you don't get to see all the beautiful patterns and textures, I think it would be nice as a big squishy scarf under a jacket. I don't know. Maybe I'll end up wrapping myself up in it one night when I'm knitting or something. It's a lovely size for wrapping. It does look nice like that actually. So that is everything I've made, apart from the couple of cowls, which I have to show you. I might actually just pop a picture in if I can, or a little video overlay. So one of them is, as I said, the cowl by Therese. It's the Tvilling cowl. Yes, the Tvilling cowl, and it's Tvilling means twin in Swedish, and so that's why there's the twin option for the cowl. And as I said, I did the Suri silk. I did mine with Suri silk, so it was super soft and fluffy, and it's lovely, perfect for wearing under something. Then the other two cowls are my You Can Be Scrappy and Soft cowl, which is made with Scrappy bobbins, my 5-gram Scrappy bobbins, and a skein of the Suri silk. Makes a gorgeously warm cowl, really lovely, but not big. It's not a huge chunky cowl or anything, but it's just a lovely size. Has been really popular at festivals, and everyone loves how soft it feels. Then I also made a comforting colour cowl. I'm sure that's what I called it. I'm having a moment. Comforting colour cowl, yes. And it is done with a new base, a new fluffy base, which has yak in it. It's alpaca, silk, yak and merino, I think. It's a lovely grey brown tone and lovely fluffy yarn. So I held it double with DK minis and made a cowl, and it's great, really lovely to wear. Yeah, I think that's everything. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else. If there is, I'll show you next time. Yeah, so it feels nice to finally record a podcast episode because it's been so long, and I'm looking forward to showing you what I'm working on or what I've stashed away in the past and I'm hoping to get back to. I am also planning in the next episode on sharing some of my ideal patterns, my dream patterns that I'd like to make. I have loads, so I don't know if I'll show them all or share them all, but yeah, some of them in particular are on my list to make this year, so who knows if I'll manage it, but it would be nice if I could. I'd love to know what you've been making, if you've made any of the things that I've made, any of the patterns, or if there's something that's caught your eye that you'd like to make. That would be good to know. And yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, before I forget, I'm wearing the Love Note sweater by Tin Can Knits. I did this in my sock yarn and my Suri, all in the Dig for Victory colourway. This is one of the ones I want to make another one of next year. I've got the yarn set aside, have had for 2 years, and I still haven't cast it on, so I need to do that. But yeah, it's a lovely pattern, so comfy to wear as well. Okay, so I think that's everything, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye. Bloomin' heck, I completely forgot to mention the blanket behind me. That's another finished object, although I haven't woven in the ends. That's on my list to do. But yeah, I'd started making the squares in the last episode. So it is 2 strands of fingering weight held double, and I used one undyed and one dyed yarn to make each square. I used 5.5 millimeter needle hook, I'm sure, to do it, and I did 6 rounds on each one, and then I just crocheted them in strips and joined it that way, and it's lovely. It's a really nice heavy blanket, if you know what I mean, without being too heavy, but it's got a nice weight to it. It's just lovely. The dog likes to snuggle under this one. It's lovely. So eventually I'll get these ends woven in. I'm planning on doing a few at a time each night. I've been really good recently weaving in my ends. It's not like me. I'm not the best at doing it, I must be honest. I always leave it to the last minute or to the very end and then regret it bitterly. But this one's not too bad because it's just the one and then one of the corners, so it should be nice and easy to do. But yeah, it's a lovely one. It's so good. So this was using the Rainbow Chronicles yarn and the Rainbow Advent from Lay Family Yarn a couple of years ago. maybe 3, 2, 3, I can't remember exactly how, but yeah, because there was quite a variety in the colourways, so I decided to, though I feel like that one wasn't, but it must be, it definitely is, it's just me doubting myself. Yeah, they're all Leaf Family Yarn minis, so they're lovely. It's a lovely blanket. So it's finally got a blanket off the hook. I have cast on 2 more. So eventually I will have more blankets than I know what to do with. I was at that stage, I thought, don't need any more blankets in this house. I've got lots of ones that have been given, like shop bought ones, which are gorgeous and cozy, and we use a lot of blankets in our house. And then I've got lots that I've made, and then, yeah, I was like, I don't need any more. And then what do? I've got a habitation throw on the needles, which is lovely, but that is a shop sample, so it won't be used for a long time in the house. And then I've got, 2 that I've started using one of my club yarns, so there you go. I'll show you in the next episode